The Phantom Minstrel. The village of Black Hollow was a place shrouded in darkness and mysteries, hidden deep within a forgotten forest. It was where the sun seldom broke through the thick canopy of ancient trees. Travelers who dared venture near would tell tales of a suffocating fog that clung to the air, and the faint, haunting melody of a lute that echoed through the woods at night. Many dismissed these as mere superstitions, but those who lingered long enough would speak of the Phantom Minstrel, a cursed spirit whose music drove listeners to madness. Lena Thatcher, a historian and researcher of folklore, had heard these stories countless times. But to her, the legend of the Phantom Minstrel was more than just a tale. It was an obsession. She had spent years studying the dark folklore of the region, and every clue seemed to lead her back to Black Hollow when she discovered a tattered journal detailing the minstrel's curse and its connection to her own family history. She knew she had to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. Lena Thatcher was no stranger to dark tales. Raised in a family of scholars, she had grown up surrounded by dusty tomes and ancient manuscripts. But unlike her peers, who studied history for the sake of knowledge, Lena felt a deep, personal connection to the stories she uncovered. Her relentless curiosity was fueled by a desire to understand the mysteries that had haunted her family for generations. A woman of sharp intellect and unyielding determination, Lena's confidence masked a lingering unease, a feeling that she was being drawn towards something far darker than she could comprehend. Duncan Ward had known Lena for years. As a fellow researcher, he admired her passion and tenacity, even if he didn't always share her belief in the supernatural. Duncan was the pragmatic sort, grounded in logic and reason. He had accompanied Lena on many expeditions, always ready to debunk the myths and legends they encountered. But as they approached Black Hollow, even Duncan couldn't shake the feeling that they were walking into something far beyond their understanding. Despite his skepticism, he vowed to stand by Lena's side, ready to protect her from whatever they might face. Father Alden, the village priest of Black Hollow, was a man worn down by the horrors he had witnessed. For decades, he had served as the spiritual guide to a dwindling population, offering what little solace he could in a place steeped in fear and sorrow. A man of faith, Father Alden's beliefs had been tested to their limits by the curse that hung over the village. He knew more about the Phantom Minstrel than anyone else, having encountered the spirit in his youth. The experience had scarred him deeply, and he had spent his life trying to protect others from the same fate. As Lena and Duncan arrived in Black Hollow, Father Alden knew the time had come to confront the darkness once more. Black Hollow was everything Lena had imagined and worse. The village was a desolate place, with crumbling buildings and overgrown streets. The air was thick with a sense of dread, and the fog that blanketed the village seemed almost alive, swirling around them as if it had a will of its own. Father Alden greeted them with a grave expression, his warnings laced with desperation. He begged them to leave, to abandon their quest before it was too late. But Lena was resolute. She had come too far to turn back now. As Lena delved deeper into the village's history, strange occurrences began to plague her. At first, it was just fleeting shadows and whispers in the wind, but soon the sounds grew louder. The mournful notes of a lute echoing through the night. The music was beautiful, yet terrifying, a melody that seemed to reach into her soul and unravel her sanity. Duncan, ever the skeptic, tried to reassure her, but even he was beginning to feel the strain. The village seemed to be closing in on them, the fog growing thicker, the shadows darker. It was then that Lena encountered Alara's shade. The ghostly figure of Alec Vance's lost love appeared to her one night, her presence both tragic and terrifying. Ilara's spirit was bound to Black Hollow, unable to find peace. She spoke of her love for Alaric, of the pact he had made with a demon to be with her, and of the curse that had doomed them both. Ilara begged Lena to help free her and Alaric, but her sorrow had twisted into something darker. A dangerous obsession that threatened to consume Lena as well. The deeper Lena ventured into the mystery, the more she began to question her own sanity. Father Alden revealed the full horror of the curse. How Alaric Vance, once a gifted musician, had sold his soul to a demon in exchange for eternal love with Ilara. But the demon's bargain was a cruel trick, and Alaric's music became a tool of madness, driving those who heard it to insanity. Alaric's spirit was bound to his lute, forced to play the haunting melody for eternity. The only way to break the curse was to destroy the lute, but doing so would come at a great cost. The final confrontation took place deep within the heart of the forest, where the ruins of an old chapel lay hidden beneath the fog. Guided by the haunting melody, Lena, Duncan, and Father Alden made their way through the twisted trees, their hearts pounding with fear. As they approached the ruins, the music grew louder, more intense, until it seemed to be coming from within their very minds. The demon that had cursed Alaric Vance revealed itself, a shadowy figure with eyes like burning coals. It spoke with a voice that was both seductive and terrifying, offering Lena a chance to walk away. It promised her power, knowledge, and reunion with lost loved ones. If only she would leave the curse intact, but Lena refused, driven by a desperate need to end the suffering that had plagued Black Hollow for centuries. In a climactic battle of wills, Lena and Duncan struggled to destroy the cursed lute, while the demon attacked with all its fury. Father Alden, his faith renewed, stood against the demon, using what little power he had left to weaken its hold. The air crackled with dark energy, the fog swirling around them as the demon's laughter echoed through the ruins. Just as the demon seemed poised to strike them down, Lena managed to seize the lute. She hesitated, feeling the weight of the curse and the souls it had claimed. But with a final, desperate cry, she shattered the instrument against the altar. The sound that followed was not that of wood breaking, but of countless souls being released from torment. The phantom minstrel's music came to an abrupt end. The fog began to lift, the ruins crumbling as the curse was broken. Alaric and Ilara's spirits appeared before them, their forms no longer twisted by sorrow. They shared one final, bittersweet moment before fading into the light, leaving behind a sense of peace that had long been absent from Black Hollow. Lena and Duncan emerged from the ruins exhausted but victorious. The village of Black Hollow was no more, its dark history finally laid to rest, but the cost of their victory weighed heavily on them. Father Alden had sacrificed himself to save them, his body lying still amidst the ruins. Lena felt a deep sorrow, knowing that while they had freed the village, the darkness that had given birth to the curse still lingered in the world. As they left Black Hollow, Lena reflected on the journey. The legend of the Phantom Minstrel had been more than just a story. It was a warning, a cautionary tale of the dangers of obsession, of the price of seeking power at any cost, and of the darkness that lies within all of us. Lena had learned that some mysteries are best left unsolved, and some histories are best forgotten. But even as they drove away, Duncan cast a wary glance back at the forest. The fog had dissipated, but a shadow still lingered at the edge of the trees. A reminder that while the curse had been broken, the demon that had caused it still remained. The lesson of Black Hollow was clear. The past should not be forgotten, but neither should it be pursued at the cost of one's soul. For in the end, Some music is meant to be left unheard, and some spirits are meant to remain at rest. Thank you for joining me tonight. Until next time, sleep well. If you can.